Hello, thanks for tuning in today. If you're new to this channel, so am I. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the subject of boundaries. And this for me was a subject that I was very unfamiliar with. I had no idea what a boundary really even was or how it could look like in my life. I got to a certain point in my life where I was just extremely run down. I have 3 kids. I mean, of course, you're going to be stretched thin when you have daily things and responsibilities to take care of, but I just noticed that there was a lot of other things that I could probably weed out of my life, and I had to learn how to start saying no to people. It was very difficult, but the more that I practiced that, the easier it became. And I had to start discovering why I had so much anxiety about telling people no. And I started to ask myself what my motivations were for the choices that I was making. Am I being motivated by guilt or fear? Or am I being motivated by love? And it's going to be one of those things. And, sometimes we want to do great things out of love for people, but we don't take into account the effect that it's really going to have in the reality of our lives. And so, I learned not to answer people so quickly. I always just felt such anxiety that I had to answer them right away. I would rather make myself uncomfortable than to make them uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, if you've said yes to something, you're the one responsible for it. You're the one that's got to do the work or fit it into your life, and not the other person. So there's nothing wrong with telling people, "Oh, well, let me think about it. Let me get back to you on that." And that takes the pressure off immediately. It's such a simple thing that you can do right on the spot, is to just say, not yes or no, but let me think about that and I'll get back with you. Such a simple thing has helped me out tremendously, that I've learned now how to do that. And learning how to ask myself, what is the motivation, first of all, before I answer this question? Is this something that I really don't want to do, that I'm only doing out of guilt or fear? And you're really not doing anybody a favor, most of all yourself, or least of all yourself, by doing things out of guilt and fear. And so what happened with me in the first time I remember distinctively, God was giving me an opportunity. Actually, no, I didn't even know He had given me the opportunity until after it happened. Somebody asked me if they could pray for me. And this is in a circle of people that I sort of know. My family member knows this person, but I didn't know them real well. And in front of some of my other close friends, she asked me if she could pray for me. And inside, I didn't feel like it was okay. I didn't want her to pray for me at that moment for whatever reason. I didn't even completely know. I just felt like saying no. And so I did. And you know what happened? Nothing. Nobody died. The sky didn't collapse, and life went on. And I felt better after saying how I actually felt. And for me, that was kind of a turning point. And after I left, I was kind of talking to the Lord about it, and basically there was really no harm in her praying for me. He was basically like, I just gave you an opportunity in a safe environment to exercise the word no. And that's all it was. And I didn't have to worry about if the person, was offended. I just let all that go. That's not my issue, how they, were affected by me saying no. So it was a great little way to exercise that word for me. And as I've done it more and more, it's become so much easier. And I feel so much less guilty and stressed about doing it. And actually, then it frees me up to have more time and energy to do things that I actually do want to do or that God has called me to do. Sometimes just because you can do something doesn't mean that you're the one that's supposed to do it or to rescue somebody from their situation or, you need to seek the Lord on things. You can't just jump right in because you have a good heart and you just want to be there for everybody all the time. Sometimes there's more going on than meets the eye, and you might be doing somebody a disservice by stepping into what God's trying to do in their life. It may not be for you to step in at all. So, simple things you can do. Say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Then when you have time to think about it, ask yourself, what are my motivations and how I'm going to answer this question. And I read a book a few years ago called Boundaries. At the moment, the author eludes me, but I can look that up and put that in the description below. That book, I wish I would have read that book like 20 years ago. I seriously think it could have changed my life in so many ways, but I've learned from the things that I've been through, so that's good as well. But tremendous book. I gave my copy away to a friend, but I'm going to order another one. I think it's a book for someone like me that I should read it every year. It really helped me to understand what I am and am not responsible for. I tend to want to be responsible for whole things that I'm not supposed to be responsible for. And, sometimes the people that you need to say no to are even people in your own family. Sometimes I have to say no to my kids because I'm exhausted. And it's something, silly things sometimes, like somebody wants me to bake cookies at the end of the day, which I do a lot of baking and I do a lot of extra things and special things that my kids ask me to do. But sometimes, to my own detriment. And sometimes I need to just say no to them. Or, I'm not going to run out at the last minute because you didn't prepare for something accordingly. And sorry, but your crisis is, not an emergency on my part. So, and that can be even more difficult sometimes to say no to your closest people. But as I said, it will get easier as you practice it, and mentally and physically, you will feel the benefits. You'll have more peace, and you'll just feel more balanced in general. So I probably could say a whole lot more on the subject, but I'm just going to keep it simple today. So if any of this information spoke to you, I would strongly recommend checking that Boundaries book out. If you want to share any of your experiences or thoughts on the subject, I welcome you to leave some comments. Let me know what you think, and tune in next week for a new topic. I may talk about. I have a couple topics in mind. A lot of my topics kind of go hand in hand, so as I do one, I'm thinking how it could tie into another, but I'm kind of thinking of identity, and we'll see. So tune in next time. Thanks for watching.